Catholic, but he believes in nothing. And so that is a concern of mine.
All right, boom. So here's the thing. The thing that I really struggle the most, I guess, when it comes to Alex and her choices in this relationship, I don't understand the point of it. And when I say that, what I mean is we know already that he has broken up with her not once, but twice. Straight away, that already says that his commitment to Alex is pretty much fragile. It means that at any given time, he doesn't like what she says or he doesn't like certain things, he's going to bounce. Whether or not he's right or wrong for doing it, either way, it still shows that it's fragile, so therefore he's going to bounce. So straight away, that's a reason to not get back with him again anyway, but she still chose to. But then also on top of that, we're now in a situation right here where we're also in a situation where we know that he loves to have threesomes. And we know that that's a part of her life that she has now put behind her because she now understands her worth. And she understands her worth because she has now found God. All right, cool, fair enough. So as a religious woman, respectfully, she should really be looking for a man that is also what? Religious. But instead, she finds herself in a relationship with somebody that is legit her past. And when I say her past, what I mean is she used to have threesomes. This man still has them. Okay? She used to be not really that religious, didn't really care too much about it. And that's what exactly what he is. Well, in fact, he's an atheist, flat out. So the fact that she's dating somebody who's literally a reflection of her past is crazy to me, because that is a red flag in so many ways. I mean, listen, it's probably surpassed the word freaking red flag, to be honest with you. It's probably a no man zone. You see what I'm saying? So while she's in this relationship with this man, blows my mind. But now we're in a situation where she's now finally met his family, and you're telling me that she meets his family and the first thing that she wants to talk about is religion and XYZ. Well, as you heard her at the very beginning asking the question of, listen, I know you guys are religious. I know he used to go to church. How come this okay now? So, the mom, the father decides to respond in this, in this scenario by saying that, listen, even if he doesn't believe in anything, and this is the thing. I think the thing that she needs to fathom is that he's already had this conversation with his parents a long time ago. Hence the reason why he still has a relationship with them. So bringing this up and even asking them, to be honest with you, I don't know what she was looking for, but she was never going to get exactly what she was looking for, because the family is already on the side where they understand their son and they accept their son. But right now, Alex seems to be on this journey of trying to convince him to change his ways, as if she's here to change his ways in life, as if that hasn't happened before. But listen, as we said before, the parent says, even if he doesn't believe in anything, it doesn't change what he feels for you. And that is such a powerful freaking line. Whether or not it's true or not is a different conversation. The reason why I question the truth behind it is purely because we know he's already broke up Alex more than freaking once. And also we know that he still desires to entertain other women as well by bringing them into his own relationship, or if not, when he's not with her, to obviously go and do a madness with the whole threesome, a mumbo jumbo. But hey, let's see what else comes in.
Affettivo nei tuoi riguardi. I'm having an unconditional love towards you when you are trying to change who I am.
Ooh, I am having unconditional love for you, but oh my goodness gracious, let me read that one back, because that line hit different. That I don't think people fathom the power behind that line. I'm having unconditional love towards you. Again, whether or not it's true or not, it doesn't matter. The line itself, it does matter, but the line itself is hard. And then he continues by saying, when you are trying to change who I am. Why would you change who I am if who I am loves you? Ooh, ooh, ooh. But also at the same time, though, let's not forget, though, on the other side of that, meanwhile, while she's trying to change him, he's also trying to get her to go back to her old ways. He's trying to get her to be more open to having threesomes. So again, she's literally in a relationship with somebody that used to be who she was. There's no happiness in that. If anything, this person is more likely to take you back rather than forward. If you are now in a place where you have found yourself, you should be seeking to be around people that can take you forward, not take you back. People that can push in the right direction rather than keep you where you was or take you back. So all the choices that Alex is making so far aren't exactly the best of choice, especially given the fact that she has now found God. So you would think the fact that she's now found God should be in a position where she'd be able to understand her own boundaries, her own self-love, her own self-respect, and also most importantly, know how to avoid anyone that's going to bring in energy that is from the past, and energy that's only going to help her propel forward. Now she's in a new light, and now she's found a new light in life. But instead, she wants to put all that energy in trying to convince Adriano to change his ways. Like, come on, Let's be freaking real. Come on.
when you are trying to change who I am and make me believer.
Te è cosciente che in te c'è amore. Perché è così importante da dove parte?
Ooh, let's go back. If you know that he loves you, why does it matter where it comes from? And that's a very, very good question. And let's talk about that. The reason why it matters to Alex is because she's dating somebody who she's trying to change. It's because she's dating somebody that represents a part of who she used to be. And she hopes because she was able to change that for herself, she can put that into him. But here's the thing though. Just because you were able to change it, you have to remember why you was able to change it. It's because you was ready for the change. He is not ready for the change. And if anything, this is a change that he may not ever see that he ever needs in his life. Why? Because he's currently happy with it. Because it doesn't seem to affect him when it comes to his own, I guess, well-being by the way he presents himself. But hey, so really and truly, why does it matter? It matters because there's a traumatic stigma behind it that she's not addressing, if you dig what I'm saying. No. She hasn't healed from. Yeah, let's go with that one. I would say she's addressed it, but she's not healed from it. So that's why she continues on this unnecessary projection of just absolute madness.
Ti preoccupa un po' questa sua troppa severità nella religione. Spero molto che trovi una persona vicina che...
At first, I watched it back a couple of times. Actually, no, about 2 times. Reading what the mum said here, you know, I really hope he finds someone who truly understands him. So the mum has already rolled out Alex. I do wonder though if she has seen this episode. I would imagine that she would have. I mean, I hope she has, because the fact that his mother is even saying that I really hope that my son finds someone else who truly loves and understands him basically says that the mum has no hope for you and Adrian to ever work. So really and truly, does that mean it's the end of the road for your relationship? Not necessarily, but it's never a good sign if the parents aren't on board with you, or at least aren't impressed by you. So hey, I guess that first impression you made wasn't a good one.
Che lo capisca, lo comprenda.
Adriana broke my heart when he decided to break up with me to have threesomes.
And yet you decided to get back with him again for the 3rd time. Need I say anything more? You are legit. Some people in this world just for some reason put themselves in positions where they are still stagnant and they are not progressing forward. I don't know why she makes these choices, to be honest with you. Listen, I don't know why she makes these choices, but I hope one day that she recognizes that the choices that she's making regarding this relationship aren't choices that are pushing her forward. That's just the grand scheme of it. Nonetheless though, let's move on to the next couple themselves in particular. If you need to have protection from me, so this relationship, or this effing relationship, is over. Wow, we're wasting no time with these two, right? Luke and Meline. That last episode we saw him bring up the whole prenuptial flipping something that she's not happy with, something that she believes is him saying to her indirectly that he doesn't trust her anymore, or maybe didn't trust her at all. So right now she's not happy, and straight away she's like, this relationship is effing over if you don't fix it. Oh my goodness gracious me. It is quite interesting though, because of what Lukey boy has to say next.
Oftentimes I do feel that it is her way or the highway, and
it's funny, isn't it? Oftentimes, that probably means every time it's always her way, the highway, but yet you're still here. So tell me something. Imagine being a grown-ass woman, a grown-ass man, and you're in a relationship technically with a child, and for some reason it's always her way rather than your way. You know, generally speaking, as we age, we are meant to mature, and as we age, we are meant to also add newer boundaries to ourselves, and as we age, we are meant to also learn how to navigate things in certain ways. So therefore, if we come across people who are younger than us or people who are less knowledgeable than us, we can navigate, we can guide them in terms of, how we can do certain things, if that makes any sense. So it is quite interesting how this man is 30 years of age, but he still doesn't know how to communicate in a relationship. And right now he's in a relationship with somebody who's freaking 19 years of age. Make that make sense? I'm just saying, if I was in a relationship now, myself in particular now, with someone like that age, which would never happen, obviously I'd make sure that I navigate myself. I would make sure that I know how to navigate myself, of course, but also know how to help her navigate certain things, if that makes any sense. Because you see, communication is a big thing, right? It seems when it comes to communication in this relationship, this man is unable to communicate things in the way that makes sense to her, which is wild to me. which is absolutely wild to me. Communication is such a big thing, you know, and there's so many different ways we can go about communication, right? And I'm just saying that when it comes to communicating, he's obviously failed in this department because he's out here telling us that, oh, whenever we have conversations, well, guess what? I'm a people pleaser, so I always give her what she wants. That means you're lacking your ability of communication. You're 30 years of age, you should know how to communicate by now, and if anything, you should be teaching her on ways to communicate to therefore hopefully make your relationship stronger. And if what you're doing isn't working because it's not registering it to her, then maybe it's time to think about things in other aspects. But hey, not everybody has the ability to mature.
Whether she signs a prenup or not, I think the dynamic in the relationship does need to change.
Imagine that. I wonder how long it took him to figure that out. But here's the thing though, that's not even the problem in my opinion. The problem, in my opinion, is that he's allowed this dynamic to be like this for way too long. And it seems to me as if he struggled to even vocalize it, or if he's, or it's also, or it feels as if he's even avoided to vocalize it. And the reason I say this is because of what comes next.
This has nothing to do with whether or not I trust you. This has everything to do with security. I know this is a really difficult conversation, so let's put a pin in it. We'll talk about it when you're ready to talk about it.
That bit there. I know it's a different conversation, so, you know, we'll just put a pin in it. That tells me that clearly in their relationship, whenever he has tried to address certain things, because the conversation hasn't gone in the direction that he needs to, he's like, okay, you know what, it's fine, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it until next time, until you're ready for it. What makes you think that she's ever going to be ready for these conversations if these conversations in her eyes don't work out in her favor? So you can do that as much as you want, but it's not going to change anything. Obviously for him, he sits there and says that the prenup, that the whole prenup thing is going to happen. You know, it's mandatory. It's not going to change. But how can you guarantee that when you can't even communicate with a woman properly? The day that you learn to communicate with a woman properly, then maybe, yes, there is a possibility of what you're saying for it to happen. But as of right now, your communication isn't great with her. And that's why she's able to take advantage of you. And that's why, you know, you put yourself in positions where it's all about what she wants rather than what you want. Because you're a grown-ass man who still has the brain of a child because you don't know how to communicate properly or set boundaries properly or how to make things how they should be, if that makes any sense. Nonetheless, though, it is what it is. Let's move on to the next couple. Do you want to marry him? This is Sean right now proposing to Aaliyah.
Level, we both know that there's things that need to be discussed, especially about her transitioning and how far down this journey we're going to go. Still trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Somebody please tell me, why the hell did this waste man freaking propose? It makes no sense to me. There's no logic behind this in any kind of way. Why have you proposed? The whole season so far, and I want you just to listen to me real quick here. Obviously, I know you're listening, but just listen. Listen. The whole season so far, we have seen him have this battle between the idea that he's in love with Douglas and not in love with Aaliyah. The battle of the fact that he still sees Douglas and Aaliyah and he's trying to hold on to that for as long as he can. We've also heard him even speak about how previously he was married to a woman or in a relationship with a woman, but then he obviously decided to, you know, own up to who he really was, and that is a gay man, a man that likes men. So therefore, he ends up being in a relationship with men, and then fast forward, he's now in this relationship that has a ridiculous age gap. Let's not forget that, right? But hey ho. But either way, though, he falls in love with Douglas, and Douglas, I guess, falls in love with him. But then Douglas says, hey, guess what? I don't like Douglas. I like Aaliyah. So therefore, I'm telling you that I'm now going to transition into a woman. So the thing that I'm struggling to fathom here, and this is the crazy thing, right? In life, right now, there's this conversation where people try to identify whether somebody is gay or not. And what I mean is, generally speaking, some people will say that if a man sleeps with a trans woman, that means he is gay because that woman biologically is a man, right? So that's one conversation that is had. But of course, on the flip side, the person that's trans will say, no, he's not gay, he's a straight man. It's just that I was able to transition to look like a woman so much that he accepts me for the woman that I am now, not the man that I used to be. So therefore, that man is now straight. So there's always that conversation, right, of is the person gay or not, right? So here's the thing. Sean has made it abundantly clear this whole season that he is freaking gay, all right? And a trans woman will tell you flat out, okay, I want to be with a straight man, so therefore I know my transition is completo, whether or not she keeps her ding-a-ling or not, you know what I'm saying, okay? So the thing that I'm still struggling to fathom here is that Sean has said multiple times, I I'm gay, and I like men. That's what he has said multiple times. So why the hell did you decide to propose to somebody that is now transitioning into a woman, when in a trans world, once you transition to a woman, you are now a woman, and therefore any man that you get with is technically straight? Let's just make sense out of that. I just want someone to make sense out of that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that he said that he wants men, and that's why he's in love with Douglas, and he's connected to Douglas and Aaliyah. Damn, it's like a whole episode of freaking Split right now, isn't it? But then also on top of that, he then further on just says, I know that right now I'm still figuring things out. There's still things that we have to work on. There's still things that obviously that are pretty much unsolved. So here's the thing then. Why in the hell are you proposing to somebody if you know there's still things that you two still need to figure out away from even the things that I've just mentioned anyway? Make that make sense. For a man of your age, make that make sense. This is why I always say age has nothing to do with somebody's maturity. Maturity is based on people that go through experiences and they reflect on those experiences, they acknowledge those experiences, they take accountability from those experiences, and then therefore evolve from those experiences. That is what makes maturity, not freaking age. And 90 Day Fiancé is that show that definitely gives us that confirmation that age ain't nothing but a freaking number. Respectfully, let's not twist it in terms of the whole gappy, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless though, let me know your thoughts and your opinions on these two. Well, at least on Sean's choice to want to propose to Aaliyah, as if that makes sense to any one of you, but whatever. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's move on to the final freaking couple.
Clean to Annie about donating through sex to a woman in Australia. But what Annie doesn't know is that there's other women I donated naturally to recently, one in Norway and one in the UK.
You know, they say the perfect beginning to a relationship is honesty. The second that you aren't honest from the very beginning is the moment that you know your relationship is more or less going to be doomed. It's more likely to be doomed because lying does you no favors. So the fact that he has not been fully transparent is never a good sign. But right now, what is he up to? What is he actually doing? Let's find out.
She may react kind of harshly when she finds out, so I'm getting an STD test. I think it's a good buffer. She'll react well because she'll see how responsible I am. And there's really nothing to worry about.
You know what's so funny, right? So he thinks that going to get a STD test is going to give Annie a reassurance that what he does is fine. Yeah, I feel like he's missing the plot here. This has nothing, what? Obviously, you having STD is obviously a factor, right? But this isn't necessarily about you having STDs or not. This is about the fact that she's now your woman, and she wants you to only sleep with her and only her. That's it. That's what this is all about. So even if so whatever your results are, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change the fact that she still doesn't want you to be putting your ding-a-ling in some other women. That is the grand scheme of it. She wants you off the market. She wants you to reserve to all to herself. She wants you to use your little ding-a-ling on her only. Simple as 1, 2, 3. It's not rocket science, is it now? But listen, at the end of the day though, Annie still made her choice to want to be with somebody that is a sperm donor, which is ridiculous to me. So the fact that she still chose to be with somebody who is a sperm donor, really and truly, whatever happens, she has to take her own accountability in the situation. That cannot be ignored to the slightest, you see what I'm saying? But I'll tell you what now though, the fact that she ended up in a relationship with somebody who's a sperm donor, you could at least end up with somebody that showed you a bit more respect, or at least respected you completely. Because for someone to come out here and say, hey, so I haven't told you completely about how many people I slept with, but also at the same time, I'm actually not going to go and get a test. But really and truly, all I'm really doing is actually ignoring or being oblivious to what your real problem is. And the real problem is that she doesn't want you to be sleeping with anybody else. Point blank, period. But nonetheless, though, let me know all your thoughts and your opinions, okay, of course, and we can most certainly talk about it. But hey, I tell you what, I'll tell you this now though. For me personally, at least this season of Love and Paradise is better than the current season of Happily Ever After. I give it that at least anyway, even though this is one of their worst seasons. But hey, it is what it is. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.